Hi, so for this assignment, we had to read the New York Times article, and it was about the Toyota Camry campaign that made 4 different ads, and each ad had represented a different ethnicity. And then those ads were placed in the places where those ethnicities were likely to view the ads. After thinking about it for a while, I determined that, in my opinion, this campaign was ethical. Unlike what Facebook did, with their dark posts, Facebook used people's personal information from their pages, and then Facebook used that personal data to target them with ads. I definitely think that was unethical, but what Toyota is doing with these ads is completely different because they're just put in places that ethnicity is likely to view it. For example, the article said that the ad with the African American actors in it was placed on commercial breaks from the TV show Scandal, which is known to have a high viewing audience of African American people. So they weren't using personal data from anybody, it was just data from the TV show's audience, which is definitely acceptable, and that's definitely how targeted marketing should work. Also, I think it was ethical because they weren't stereotyping the ethnicities in the ads, but they were using the cultural appeals like we learned about in this module, which is definitely the way to relate to those ethnicities as opposed to using negative stereotypes that no one wants to hear. And then third of all, I thought it was ethical because the ad said that each commercial that included a different ethnicity was created from an agency that specialized in targeting ads for that ethnicity. So, for example, the ad that featured the Spanish-speaking people was created by an agency that targets that market specifically. So then considerations that advertisers should take into account when making commercials, I think, that are targeting a specific ethnicity is that, one, you have to always use those cultural appeals that we talked about in this module as opposed to using stereotyping, which will always result in a negative reaction, especially in today's day and age when people are looking for that in commercials, and then you'll be blasted on social media for having this unethical ad. And second of all, I think that advertisers should take into account whether or not they're using the same agency to create all of the ads for various ethnicities, because I think that's definitely problematic if you're using one agency for everything. That's what I think Toyota did right for this. They hired different agencies for each ad to make sure that they were going to be ethical and going to represent that ethnicity in a positive light. And then recommendations for other companies, I would definitely say always try to see how you can appeal to that certain demographic in a positive way. And then second of all, you have your overarching campaign, and then just think about how you can position that differently. And those are both things that the lecture this week talked about that I think are really important to consider. Thanks.